Got the pen and the paper in your hand. Got the story going, but you wanted to expand. We'll help you on your journey, let us lend you a hand. Join the show. So let's write the book TV show. Grab your pen and paper and we're gonna let it flow. Talking about write the book TV. Join the show.
Hello and welcome to another segment of Write the Book TV. I am your host, Kimberly LeBou, and each week we show up here talking about all things writing and publishing, and we have another phenomenal guest for you this week. We have with us the author of Awakened in the Mirror, Miss Remonica Washington. So welcome to the show, Remonica. How are you?
I am good, Kimberly. Thank you so much. I appreciate this opportunity.
Yes, this is gonna be awesome. I love your book. When I look at the chapter titles in your book, I think about, being back in church and you see some titles and it's like, ooh, that'll preach. Or you see something somewhere and you say, ooh, that'll preach. There was so many chapter titles in here where I was like, ooh, that'll preach. And so I just love that about your book. And so I first want to ask you about the title. And so a lot of people struggle to come up with the titles of their books. And, what should I call it? What should I name it? Did you have trouble naming it, or did you know that this was always going to be your title?
So I went back and forth with like three different titles. At first, it was Broken Pieces, and then it was from Broken Pieces to His Piece. And then I knew that I wanted the book to be centered around everything that I experience every time I walk in the mirror. So I had to come up with something that related to the mirror. And I realized one day as I was standing there again in the mirror, that he was like, you have been awakened. Your reflections show up every time you walk to this mirror. So I was like, okay, cool. That's what it is. Awakened in the mirror.
I love that. I love the title. I love the cover that we came up with. I have the one with the banner on it, but I don't know if our audience can see with the mirror. And it's just so I don't want to keep zooming in. It'll keep zooming in if I keep putting it up there. But but I love the cover, and of course we designed it, but it just came out so good. And so I'm just really excited. But I love a good book cover. Love a good book cover. And
Yes.
so with Awaken in the Mirror, what do you hope that readers will immediately understand about the journey that they're about to take?
So I really want readers to reflect. I really want them to read and do the work. Now, I know a lot of readers have already told me that they're reading it because it's an easy read and they're going to go back and do the work, and that's fine. I want them to read and I want them to find some sort of freedom when
Mhm.
they read this. A lot of times we are so bound by the things that we tell ourselves and by the experiences that we have. We become so stuck in those experiences until we can't see the full potential that we have. So I want
Wow.
them to read this book, identify those experiences that I shared, and to free themselves to be who God created them to be.
Mhm.
And with that being said, I hope that they learn to trust God so much more and to follow His will. I think once readers begin to align with God's will and
Mhm.
remove themselves out of their own way. So, what I tell myself now is that I am no longer in Ramonica's way. I chase God's will. And I want the
Wow.
reader to really walk away from this book learning to trust God with everything. And that takes some surrendering, and that can be hard, but I want them to really, really, this year alone, to just think about being free from the bondage that they have put themselves in. And I really want them to walk away knowing that God is all they need, and they just need to learn to trust Him a lot more.
Yeah. If we could only get that part down, right?
Yes. Yes.
Just trust him more with
Yes.
everything.
It
Yeah,
sounds
we
easy.
always get, I know it's not that easy. Sometimes we get in our own way. We want to do it, figure it out on our own. God's probably just up there looking at us like, daughter, be still. I got
Yes.
this. So you write to on the back on your back cover, it says that you write to the woman, the man, the soul who knows there's more, but they aren't sure about how to reach it. So who were you thinking of um, most when you were writing this book?
So I serve as a motivational life coach, and a lot of my clients, honestly, are usually high school students,
Hmm.
middle-aged women, and some mid-30 men. So I was speaking to those individuals that are, when they come to me, they
Hmm.
don't fully know what it is they want to do or where life is taking them, and they're in a rush to do things. They feel like they have to be at a certain age to make sure that this happens. And to be totally transparent, I'm 57. I never even tried to rush this process. It was all in God's timing.
Yeah.
So I speak to those individuals that feel like they have to get it right now. So I want them to understand that it's a process. Like you're gonna fall, you're gonna bump your head. Just get back up. It's
Mm.
okay. God is always there with us. And I just want them to know that they don't have to rush. Just surrender it all, give it
Mm.
to God, take your time, align with Him. And the one thing that went over and over with me is that even when you're waiting on God, it still requires movement. So you still have to move.
That's good.
Okay, so God don't just order steps, He orders stops. If you're going in the wrong direction, He'll reroute you, right? So I just want them to learn. When I was writing and thinking of the individuals, I wanted them to know you don't have to be in a rush. You just have to follow God's timeline. And it's okay. It may look like it's taking a long time for you, but it's not a long time for Him.
Yeah. I love that. God doesn't just order steps, he orders stops.
Yes.
Yeah, what a word.
He is the God of escape. He can do it all, right?
Yes, I love that. That's just such a nice way to look at that. Yeah, he's got it all under control.
Oh,
All under control. Wow, I love
yes.
that. So you speak openly in the book about fear, doubt, and unanswered prayers. Was there a specific season in your life that became the catalyst for this book?
Whew, I was so hoping you was going to ask that question.
Told y'all I'll be coming up with good questions.
So yes, awaken in the mirror. It was birthed in a valley. Like I
Mm,
was truly going through, and it was 2020, and I know exactly the month. It was March 2020, and I was going through. I was laying in my bed one night, and I was crying out to God because it seemed like every person I knew in my life had turned on me. And I was like,
mm,
"Really, God, what's going on?" So I'm laying in bed, and I'm in the midst of tears, and I hear God say, "Write the book." And I was like, God, don't you see
mm,
where I'm at over here? Like, I'm crying out to you. I'm over here repeating Psalms 27:14 over and over again. And you say, write the book. You're like,
mm,
you know that this is more pressing on me, right? Like, how can you say, write the book? So he said, write the book. And in my mind, because my mouth could not utter those words,
mm,
that I'm not a good writer. I don't even know where to begin to write a book. And it instantly, just today, as I was sitting thinking back on that moment, I thought about Moses, right? God gave Moses an assignment, and Moses came back and said, me?
yeah.
And he was so polite and kind with it, right? He was like, pardon me, servant, your servant, Lord. You sure you talking to me?
Yes.
You want to send me? I am slow to speak. I cannot get my words right, but you're saying you want me to go. And God was like, yes.
Mhm.
And so God was there every step of the way.
Yeah.
And that was the same thing for me. I didn't think that I could pull this book together, but the minute that I started praying and asking God to give me what it is that he was assigning me to do, to give me the strength, to give me the words, to even give me the chapters. And he
Yeah.
did that. He would wake me up in the middle of the night. Like, I don't even like to be woke up. But my little dog would come and I was like, what? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Go lay back down. And so I would have to get her up, take her out. And as I'm taking her out, God is dropping a chapter. And so I
Mm-hmm.
had to stop and start writing at that moment because, again, we want to walk in obedience, right? We
Yeah.
don't want to wait till the next day and then it's all gone and we don't know how to come back and grab that information. So I
Mm-hmm.
would stop and start, pull up my phone, pull up my tablet, whatever,
Yes.
and I would start writing. But it was birthed in the valley. It was definitely in the valley.
Wow. I always say that there's healing through writing. That's one of my favorite sayings. There is healing through writing. And so that's so good. That's so good. So there is a powerful idea in the book about looking in the mirror and not fully recognizing who you are in Christ. So what does that moment of awakening look like in real life?
So that moment, and because that's a good question and it's a hard question, because I have always felt God in the mirror, like from the moment I want to say this started back in 1998.
Mm,
Um, I would approach my mirror and I would either get a warning or I would get some preparation. And so I think for an individual that is not used to that, I think it's going to take some time. And what I mean by that, I think that person is going to have to be intentional when they walk to that mirror. Whether it's walking to your mirror that you walk into every morning when you're
yeah.
preparing your day, or if it's just buying your mirror and sitting with that mirror. I have my clients do that. I always have my clients buy a mirror, right? But it takes intention. I'm
Mm,
sorry, excuse me. It takes intention. You're gonna have to be intentional when you approach that mirror. And when you approach that mirror, I think not only is it good to have affirmations, but it's also good to approach that mirror with God on your mind.
yeah.
Approach that mirror in prayer, approach it with a scripture, and you can just repeat that while you're in that mirror. And
Mm,
I believe once you start doing that, then you'll become more comfortable. And I believe it opens the space for God to enter.
yeah.
Because God is never, excuse me, God is never going to enter where he's not welcome. So I feel
That's so
like if
true.
you make space for God, he's going to enter your presence. And that presence can be you in front of that mirror preparing your day, or it can be you just sitting with your Bible and you set that Bible down and you look in the mirror and you become one-on-one with yourself.
Hmm.
Because a lot of times we move so fast, we really don't
We
spend a
really
lot of time
do.
in the mirror. We
We
really
really
don't.
move fast.
We do. We move very fast.
So I love the idea of this to just like take that time out in order to do that, be intentional about it. I love that. Um,
Yes.
so I do want to take a moment. We have some people watching, and so I do want to say hey to our viewing audience. Thank you so much for tuning in for another segment of Write the Book TV. We are here with the author of Awakened in the Mirror, Remonica Washington. And so if you guys have any questions for Remonica, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to see the comments tonight. I worked that out earlier. And so if you just want to say hello or just ask a question about the topic, you can feel free to do so. I'll try to get that in there. But welcome and thank you so much for joining us this evening. And so many people feel stuck either spiritually or emotionally. And you remind readers that they're not stuck, they're being stirred. I like
Yes.
that. How can somebody tell the difference between being stuck and being steered?
I believe a person can normally tell the difference if things in their life starts to be shaken. And I always use the analogy of Italian dressing, right? So when you think about Italian dressing, where is all the seeds and stuff setting with the dressing? It's at the bottom,
At the
and the
bottom.
oil is always at the top. So
Mm.
if you take it and you shake it up,
Ooh.
then you're mixing all of that up because normally that's what you do when you're about to put it on your salad. So I feel like when people when they start to get shaken and things are not the norm for them and they're
Mhm.
in an uncomfortable feeling or place, then that's when they're being stirred. and they need to accept that. Like they really need to pay attention to that. And I would suggest that they start paying attention by journaling. Just
Mm,
write down when you're feeling that way, right? Write those emotions down, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Just write those things down so that you can start to identify, oh, okay, on Monday I felt this way.
mhm.
And Thursday, I felt this way. That had to be something that was happening.
Yeah.
And if they go back and just sit with God and start seeing that, oh, okay, I remember maybe I asked God for that. And on Monday, that's what was happening. He was stirring the pot, right?
Mm.
So I just believe they have to be, again, intentionality is everything.
Yes,
You
I agree.
cannot half do this thing. You cannot, if you're going to be stirred, you have to be prepared. And you have to also understand that being uncomfortable is okay
Mm,
because we live in our comfort zone for so long. So even when we're shaking like that Italian dressing, we're not ready for it. We want things to settle
yeah.
back down, like that dressing settles back to the bottom. We want we want things to
Yeah.
settle back down so that life can go back to what we know. But
Mm,
in order for us to
comfort.
progress, because that's what life coaches teach, to
Mhm.
progress. So in order for us to progress, we're going to have to be stirred. We're going to have to be shaken. We're going to have to come out of our comfort zone and be uncomfortable in order to grow. And
Yeah.
I'm just big on people growing and developing. So that's another thing I hope that this book does,
Mm.
not only push them to be free, to heal and to reflect, but to also grow and develop into everything that God has called them to be.
I love it. I especially love the analogy of the Italian dressing and the oil being at the top. Girl, you got some stuff over there. I tell you some goodness. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch this and take some notes. Hi to Pamela Nance Johnson. She said, I love the mirror concept, so personal. Nathaniel is here. He said, I have an affirmation on my mirror. My catalog is greater than my chaos. I remember that. I remember that. Thank you guys for tuning in. But y'all, some of the chapters in this book, look, let me just share a couple. Let me see. Who's holding your arms? I think that was one of my favorite ones. Who's holding your arms? That just reading that was deep. I was like, yes. Talk a little, just a little bit about, I wasn't even thinking about asking that, but talk a little bit about that because I loved what you said about, who's around you that can kind of like hold you up.
So here I am again, experiences. As I told you, like I'm praying that these experiences help people. So
Mm,
who's holding your arms was it came about, it was birthed because I have a muscular condition that I
mhm.
have had for the last 15 years. So I am unable to raise my arms like most people, right? This is the most that I can do. And so when I had to learn how to live like this, so
Mhm.
there are things that I had to learn how to do different. And then having my husband with me made it a lot easier because some of the things that I can't do, he's there to help me do.
Yeah.
So when I'm in church and, the pastor always say, all right, everybody raise their arms. And I'm thinking, yeah, if only I could. But I do as much as I can and I use
Mhm.
my mouth because I know that hey, I can cry out and I will not let a rock
Yeah.
cry louder than me, okay?
Mhm.
So that's how that chapter came about because I have been dealing with this condition for the last 15 years, 14, 15 years, and I am unable to use my arms. And it took me back to Moses and Aaron and Hugh when they were fighting. And Moses, as long as Moses' arms were up, they were winning the battle. The minute his arms got weak and dropped
Mm.
down, they were losing the battle. So we need to have people in our lives that can hold our arms. We go through so much in this world, day to day difficulties, and we should always have that person that's there that would be able to hold our arms up for us or just allow us to lean in on their shoulder and cry or just to listen to what it is that we're dealing with that day.
Mhm.
Not to take it on fully, but just to have
Right.
that person to be there. I also have another one, ladder holders. I always tell people I want to be a ladder holder. I want to hold your
Mhm.
ladder. You may want to go 6 feet high. I may just only want to go three. So if that's what you want, then I'm going to
Right.
hold your 6 foot ladder so that you can
Mm.
go high.
I love it. I love it. But that was one of my favorite ones. Wait, who am I trusting? You win when you can accept losing. It's so much goodness in here. When Jesus' name is all you need,
Yes. Yes.
the escape is near. Don't fear embarrassment. Look, you don't know my prayers. Look, like I could go on and on. It's so many good ones. I mean, you really did a fantastic job with this. And I loved working on this and pulling this together for you. It was just such a great experience working with you. And so I love that. And so the book itself, it just feels deeply personal and also very invitational. And so, what was the hardest truth you had to confront while writing it?
Oh. And as I think that question through, my hardest truth for me is not even thinking that I had that in me to write the book.
Mm,
That was the hardest thing for me. It's trying to be obedient, walk according to what I heard, because I understood the voice, I understood the assignment, I knew what was expected of that,
mhm.
but I personally felt like me, because in that end chapter, little scared girl from Louisiana, I'm gonna write a book,
That's right.
so I think that was my struggle because again, pulling the chapters out and providing the experiences, that wasn't even a struggle because I'm never ashamed of the things that I went through. And
Amen.
I was so okay with sharing them. And I remember one reader reached out and said, "Wow, you were very transparent. Like, I don't know if I could have did that." And
Mm,
in my head, I'm thinking, why not?
yeah.
That's my experience. That was my growth. That was my development. I'm
Mhm.
not ashamed of anything that I had to go through because it makes us better, right? And a lot of times I really hope that a lot of readers are overcome by these testimonies. They
Mhm.
are personal, they are real. Like these are things that I actually I walked through. Again, we're not supposed to stay in the valley, even though I told you I was in a valley moment.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to stay in the valley. We're walking through the valley. So the only struggle that I had, I believe, was believing in myself enough to know that I could actually write this
Yeah.
and it would really impact lives because I did the assignment. Now it's up to God to manage that, and He's going to manage the impact that it has
Yes.
on those lives.
Yes.
And that's what I'm excited about.
And I know that it will because it's just so well done. And you can tell that your whole heart and everything is in it just by how well written it is. And so I love that about the book and about you. And so, how did your relationship with God shift or deepen during the process of writing Awaken in the Mirror?
Wow. So, faith is the foundation. Thank you for
Yeah.
that compliment because
Mhm.
faith is the foundation of everything that I was doing, and my heart is truly in this. And I love God's people.
Mhm.
My relationship truly grew because I had to do more reading. I had to really go into moments where I was just consecrating myself and stand away from people for like about 3 weeks at a time so that I can really seek God and hear from Him and to make sure that I am walking your will, God, not in my way. Because I learned something through this, Kimberly. I learned that there are two things that there's two words that I learned that are so important. There is the word sharing and the word giving. When
Mm.
you share, you're just giving someone a number or a name. And you don't even know if that number is still the same. You don't even know if that person has died. You don't know anything. You just say, "Hey, I'm sharing this. Here you go. Call this person. They can help you." But when you're given information, you're giving it to that person and you're walking it out with them step by step. So I said all of that to say that I did not. I had to go deeper with God because I didn't want to be in my own way. And
Mhm.
people were giving me, they were sharing information with me that I didn't understand. And it wasn't until someone gave me the information, I knew then that I was aligned with God's will because how that person came to me. When I was getting the information that was being shared with me, it didn't feel good. It did
Mm.
not align with the assignment.
Wow.
And I felt that in my spirit. And it wasn't until I was given the information. And let me just be clear when I say given the information. When I was given your information to reach out to Miss Kimberly, that's when I knew after our conversation that this was God's assignment and it was going to go according to his will and not Remonica's way.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, you threw me off kilter with that.
I didn't mean to throw you off. I hope I didn't throw you off because I didn't answer the
No, I'm
question.
fine. I'm fine. I just appreciate that, and I don't take it for granted. So thank you for that.
You're
Um,
welcome.
so what do you hope happens internally for readers as they move from the first page to the last page of the book?
So, again, I want them to be free because I want them to be free. Again, I want them to be healed.
Mhm.
I hope that restoration takes place. I hope that they stop waiting. And I hope that they release that mindset of thinking, I am too old, I can't do this. I want them to truly walk in the potential that God has created in them. They are fully and wonderfully made. I hope that every time they read one of these chapters in Awakened in the Mirror, it draws them closer to God and it
Yeah.
allows them to trust Him with everything. I mean, everything, even the small things.
Mhm.
So that's my take. I just simply want them to walk that life with God, knowing that He is with them. As Joshua 1 and 9 tells us, He's everywhere. Do not be dismayed. So I just want them to be healed and restored and to execute the things in their life that they want to
Mhm.
do, and know that they can do those things. There's no failing with God,
Mhm.
and they can do it. They really can.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and spend
absolutely.
time in the mirror. Spend time in
And
that
time in
mirror.
the
And while you're reading the book, put that mirror on side you. Read a chapter, put it down, look
mirror.
in the mirror, then write. I tell you to pause, breathe, and write.
Yes, I
So
love that.
look in the mirror and then write, because I want through these pages you to see my experiences and to see those experiences as a way to draw you closer to God and to know that you can do this too.
That's so good. It's so good. So good. And I bet they're going to get every bit of that, just
Hope
like
so.
that. Just
That
like
is
that.
my prayer.
And I know that people already are because I've seen reviews already on Amazon for the book, and it just speaks to that right there. And people are already being impacted about it, and they're sharing their testimonies already. So kudos to you for that. And for the fact that let me tell you guys in the audience, to our viewing audience, we got T. Nikki Ferguson is watching. She said, pause, breathe, and write. And thank you for the shout out, T. Nikki, her Facebook name, T. Nikki Ferguson. Thank you so much for that. She said, yes, Kimberly makes you feel comfortable and confident. I really appreciate that. What was I saying? Y'all be getting me off. But let me just ask you this for someone who may feel discouraged or disconnected or unsure of their purpose right now, what is the message you want them to take away from the book for that specific group of people?
So I would say to them is first, let's like clear the space,
Hmm.
move whatever distractions that you may have, and spend more time with yourself so that you can clearly learn to hear the voice of God, because God does speak to each of us, right?
Hmm.
I would say to them to do more journaling outside of even Awakened in the Mirror. Like
Hmm.
just spend that time journaling and find that space, like make it a priority. We make everything else a priority in our lives.
Hmm.
Take 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it takes for you just to write out what you're thinking, what you want your goals to be.
Yeah,
Define your goals, but always keep God first, because God is going to have to be first in those goals, right? So
yeah,
I would just say do a lot of more journaling, move your distractions, seek peace over everything, because peace is for me non-negotiable, but seek peace over everything because it's so important. And God really, really do loves that person, or loves God loves us as a
yeah,
whole.
absolutely.
And will align everything that he has for you according to your heart and your desires. Now, if it's a delay, that's okay.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Don't stop. Just
Yeah.
keep going. And I would say you can find me on look, hopes dot aspirations, and I
Yes,
can give you
yes,
some motivation.
yes. We will get to that 1 second. I just have one last question for you. So, after completing this journey yourself and now sharing it with the world, how has Awaken in the Mirror changed the way that you see yourself today?
You know, Kimberly, I'm gonna look. Don't be on here trying to make me cry in front of all these people that may be watching. I don't even know who's watching, but don't mess up my makeup
That's
now.
okay. That's okay.
You know, that question right there really, really hits hard. It's heavy because even today, I spent time in the closet with God, and I
Mhm.
could not stop crying because it just still seems so surreal. Like I can't even believe it. I walked in the room one day and the lady was like a couple of weeks ago, and she said, "Hey, Arthur," and I looked. I was like, "Who's she talking to?"
Say what?
It's just I don't know. Like I took a lot of time today just thanking God. Like I was
Yeah.
like, God, thank you. Like I don't know where you're taking me from here,
Mm.
but I just want you to know that I appreciate everything that you have done because you have never left me. You
Yeah.
have kept me even when I didn't even want to be kept. And
Mhm.
I just thank him for this moment, like for this season of Awaken in the Mirror.
Yeah.
This is a new season for me. I haven't been here. Like I thought retirement was big a couple of months ago, but
Yes, it
Awakened in the
was.
Mirror, yeah, it was because it was a prayer answered.
Yeah.
But being an author and having Awaken in the Mirror actually like in my hand,
Yeah.
yeah, this is big, it's huge, it's all God, it's not me.
Mhm.
And I'm just glad that he trusted me with this assignment. I
Yeah.
am so happy he trusted me with
I
this
love it.
assignment.
And so I remember what I was getting ready to say. That's what happens when you get over 50. I was getting ready to say that even in less than 30 days, like in 24 days, you sold over 100 books.
Wow.
Over 100 books. Yeah, she is a brand new author. Like she hasn't even hit her 30-day mark yet. A book it just came out and she has sold over 100 copies of the book. It works if you work it. That's what I keep telling people. I was looking and those numbers kept climbing. I said, she's out there talking to somebody. I think I even called you. I was like, who they're talking to? 'Cause these books are just going. And so it's a testament to, first of all, you and then the work that you've put in to this. And I love it. I just love what I see you doing. And you just took it. And for somebody who's saying, who, me, an author? You are doing it. And I just love it. I just love it.
Thank
So I'm
you.
super, super proud of you. So grateful that you are part of the Laboo Publishing family now. And I just wish you all the best. And so we are at the end of our time here. So I want you to tell people where they can find Awakened in the Mirror.
So you can find Awakened in the Mirror on Amazon. It's also now on Kindle on Amazon, right?
Yes. Yep.
And on my website, hopes.aspirations.com. So that's
Very
HOPESANDASPIRATIONS.com.
good.
So, Kimberly, I need to just let you know, I thank you so much. You do not know how great you have been. You have been so
Oh,
great. And I just thank you so much. I know that God is going to bless you and reward you greatly. And you are so easy. You made this process easy. And I just thank you. You were definitely God sent. I just want you to know
oh.
that.
You're welcome. It was such a pleasure working with you. And I know that this is not the last time, and you are part of the family now. And I thank you, for that encouragement. And I don't take it lightly. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
so To our viewing audience, thank you guys for joining us for another segment of Write the Book TV. If you're looking at this and you are an author, you've written a book, and you want to be on Write the Book TV, you can head over to writethebooktv.com and apply today. And we will be back here next week for another interview. And thank you so much, and good night to our viewing audience, and good night to you, Remonica, and thank you for being our guest.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night, everybody.